Josie is one of the most stubborn people I've ever encountered, but she's also extremely tenacious and vivacious.
I don't think there's anything in Josie's life that she would say, oh, that's gonna hold me back. Like, everything to her, like, challenges just make her work harder.
As her mother says, she is small but mighty, for sure.
I don't know, she was always kind of a bookworm. She liked to study, she liked to read, she was very focused, and the end result was not always just being in high school, it was getting to college because she knew what she wanted to do. But I would say just the sorority was a huge influence on her. I mean, that's where she met all her friends.
Taylor made everyone feel like they were her best friend.
She wanted to go make her own way, and that was, of course, very Taylor-like, very independent, very, this is my world, the rest of you are guests, and you're just passing through. She chose OU, and she never looked back. I think Theta was a huge influence on her. I think that there were older girls from Tulsa who were already there that kind of paved the way for Taylor to meet even more young ladies who are driven like Taylor is driven, who are centered on Christ like Taylor was centered. She never met someone that she didn't think was her friend. She was just everything that's light in life.
No child, no.
I mean, she was her big sister in the sorority, but as Josie tells me, not every big and little had the relationship that Taylor and Josie had.
Whoever Taylor's little was going to be, they were going to be like inseparable. And it just happened to turn out that Josie was just as sassy as Taylor, and so it was perfect.
She and Josie were like two peas in a pod.
They understood each other on a like heart level, and it was like really cool just to like watch them work and watch the way that they loved each other so well and understood each other so well and like loved everything about each other.
It's one of the things I admire about both of them. They know who they are a lot earlier in life than some of the rest of us did or do.
We were in Tulsa for Center of the Universe Festival and then stayed for the full show and left. We went to the gas station and everyone made fun of me because I don't drink soda, so I demanded pulp-free orange juice, and that's all I remember leading up to the accident. I don't remember anything after that.
Officers responded to a three-car collision on 71st Street at approximately 200 West, and it appears that the driver of one of the vehicles was traveling eastbound on 71st Street, drifted to the left of the center line and struck a vehicle on the driver's side headed westbound on 71st Street. That initial impact caused a second collision a little further down the road.
And then she hit Taylor and Josie and Price head on. Unfortunately, a young woman who's 27 years old made a really poor decision and was highly intoxicated and operating her car.
The first thing they asked is if I was the parent of Josie Smith.
And I answered the phone and said, Taylor.
And that, of course, gets your heart racing, and I'm like, yes.
And it was a man's voice. He said, Mrs. Witcher, your daughter's been in a terrible car accident. It's very serious. She's being transported to St. Francis.
We were driving to the airport whenever my little Madison called me.
Whenever I picked up the phone, I asked her how the testing went, and she was like, hey, Chloe, Taylor passed away at 3 o'clock today.
Well, first of all, she just came out of surgery and was on a lot of morphine and anesthesia, so she didn't remember. We had to tell her more than once.
It was just a fact. We'd been in a car accident, these were my injuries, and Taylor was gone.
You could see the emotion, and then you could just see the wall. She's not dealing with it. Then she had 2 huge lacerations on her face. She had 2 broken ribs, a laceration on her liver, her T7 vertebrae was fractured, and then both legs were compound fractures, and her right pelvis had a fracture.
I always knew that she was a fighter and that she was gonna have a miraculous recovery because that's just who she is.
Josie wins over and astounds everyone she comes into contact with. Nobody thought she'd be out of ICU as quick as she was.
Apparently it should not have happened as quickly as it has, but I am not a fan of not walking and not being independent. So the last thing I wanted to do was sit in a wheelchair.
She's a mess, but it's that fighting spirit, it's that winning attitude, it's that, it's not who's gonna let me, it's who's gonna stop me attitude that, you know, you wanna be around.
I don't know, I don't like to think too hard about it. I love getting up every day and like there's always something to do and there's no reason to like dwell in things.
So like that's been my like heart for Josie, is to not like take Taylor's place, but to help her like know like how loved she is and how valued she is by more than just Taylor, like by everyone around her.
Taylor taught Josie how to embrace new friendships, how not to wait for the friendship to come to her or wait for the party to come to her, but to go be the party.
I've been able to spend a lot more time with people and just like building these relationships that I hadn't really tried to do before because I spent every moment with Taylor. There's a reason I survived. There's a reason I am recovering so well and so quickly. Everything's going so smoothly that like there's a reason for that. And there's not to overthink it. Just be happy that that's the way it is.
There's a beautiful girl and she's like not in this world with us anymore. And it's hard to like know how much I know that hurts Josie every day. And I know like there's just this huge hole in her heart, like there is in all of ours, but especially in hers. It's just like longing for Taylor to come home, and like Taylor is not gonna come home, like we're gonna go home to Taylor someday.
My biggest hope for Josie is that Josie find peace from the 10, 15 days that she lost, and from the friend that she lost. I want her to believe in light and life and good things again. I want her to chase good and believe in good, even though evil walked through the front door and took something very, very precious to both of us.
I don't think I've started processing things very well yet. I still feel like Taylor could drive home from work every day and open the door. And it'll just be a process of realizing that it really did happen. And I think a huge part of that is that I don't have any like memories of it happening. And then it's just coming to terms with the fact that it really did.